there wasn't pain, it wouldn't be worth it. Good morning, Lee. And welcome back to the Journey to Greatness with David McDonald, the GOAT. We're on day 75. Day 75. Good morning, Liz. Good morning, Lee. Let's get into this meditation real quick. All right. I'll see you guys on the other side. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. I was driving around Seattle yesterday by the on cap near Capitol Hill, like maybe a mile in Capitol Hill. They're building so much over there. It's crazy. Yeah, they're building so much. On another note, this book keeps popping up in my regular day routine. I keep talking about it. And it's just I'm paying attention so closely that when I'm hearing things, I'm like, oh shoot, that's the formula. Identifying lead measure, identifying lag measure. Oh shoot, that's this, or oh shoot, this is this. So telling you, man, when they say you're well read, it's good. Jadena, I'm a classic man. You can be me. um Okay, so now we're getting into our reading routine, 15 minutes. So if you're just joining us for the first time, we read for 15 minutes, and simple as that. I'll see you guys on the other side. Hmm. 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 Nice. I like it. Okay, so next, if you're just joining us for the first time, we're going to get into our journaling exercise. And we've already completed one entire journal that we added to our library over here, along with, 2 books. So we're working on our 3rd book right now. Usually in the journal, as I mentioned, if you're joining for the first time, it is it's a good way to write your ideas down, clear your mind of anything that may be bothering you. I usually start the journal off by talking about what I'm grateful for, or most grateful for. Mainly waking up this morning and being in excellent health. And then you pretty much start writing, what you want, whether you're doing it to vent or whether you're doing it to manifest and create, materialize something. Totally up to you. So 15 minutes. See you guys on the other side. Oh no, we just ran out of ink in our pen. Now it would be kind of silly of me to start a library of pens. But who knows? Maybe we might. All right. That was awesome. Power. So I went to Seattle yesterday, Seattle University, Sullivan Hall Law Program, and it actually felt really, really good. Gabe, good morning. Hey, Mom, good morning. How are you doing? Hey, everybody. But I went to Seattle University yesterday. Gabe, dímelo, dímelo, dímelo. No, but I went to Seattle University yesterday. It was interesting, man. Like the energy, it's crazy. So, okay, first off, when I was driving there, I felt so inspired. And like all day yesterday, I was probably in the car for maybe like 3 hours, like total driving around everywhere. And um I didn't have any music playing. I wasn't listening to any motivational tapes. I was just thinking and just talking to myself pretty much for 3 hours as I was going through, reflecting on things that I've been through, kind of just thinking about my day, really planning it out. And I got to the point where like I was driving through Seattle, like I said earlier, and I was like, they're doing so much development. I got to the point where I was like, holy smokes, like they really are building here a lot. But then I was like, man, I feel so inspired, like looking at all this architecture, all of this design. I mean, the type of model houses, that type of houses that they're building, like in that area to make it work for the economy. I started thinking about like the future and how, how there's going to be so much opportunity. So right now we shouldn't think from a place of missing out on the perfect opportunity. In terms of like building, I have the ambition to build and like build blocks, build whole communities in Seattle. So it's like, there's never gonna not be a time to buy. There's never not gonna be a time to build and be like somebody who helps build the city up. And so then I also came to the realization, like, man, it is so important for us to network and talk with each other. Like I was just thinking, like, what would this world be like if, all of us were just inside all of the time, and not really interacting with each other. And it took me to a deeper place of appreciation for life. And it was a really amazing feeling. Emotionally, I was really in touch with it, where I was just like, dang, Dave, you really, because I just got out of a fight up a beautiful, marvelous meeting with one of my partners. and we're just sitting here like just shooting information back and forth, and just talking, and it was so refreshing just to talk, and find people you can confide in. And so it's again, I mean, I can't tell anyone else what to do, but for me, I've been finding so much peace and just being out there more, and I'm out there. Like I visit with people quite a bit, but then there's a difference of going out and visiting and actually building relationships with people. Um, and so uh, the journaling exercise today actually helped me remember all of the stuff I did yesterday, because it's like we do so many magnificent things throughout the day. If we choose to have so many different magnificent experiences all throughout the day. We're correcting our behaviors, we're correcting our mindsets all day long, essentially. And, that can be a little bit overwhelming. So when you journal and you write these things down, you're able to retroflect on, okay, I did this yesterday. Thank you for giving me that opportunity to do that. Oh yeah, and I learned this, and that. And then today you take that and you build upon it, and you make today an even greater day. And so, the journaling exercise really reminded me of that. But to my point, when I was at Seattle University, I was I got the tour, and it was nice and everything was great. I'm thinking about if I go back to get my law degree, I'll get my JD, but I'll probably do it maybe in like 2 years, right? And then be a real estate attorney and do real estate at the same time. But like the energy was like, yeah, it's finals week. It's finals week. Oh, everybody's, I don't know if people are that. And it was just like, ugh. Like, dude, if you think finals week sucks, I mean, granted, we've all had a point in our lives where we had to study for a test at one time or another. It may not be the greatest, most glorious thing in the world, but come on, like, it's finals week. It's coming. That means you better make sure your butt is studying. Like, it's simple. There's nothing more simple than that. Is it going to be challenging? Of course. May even seem impossible. Yeah, probably so. But my point is like that energy of dread was just so unwelcoming to me. I was just like, man, but it felt really good to be on the campus, because I'm just like, people look at me kind of crazy. They're like, man, you have to apply first. You have to do this. You have to do that. And in my mind, I'm like, there's nothing that can stop me. They're like, you have to be consistent. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't think there's anything that can stop me. And I'm just sitting here chuckling to myself. And I'm just like, I'm going to get into this school no matter what if I put my mind down to it. I don't care if it takes me a year. I don't care if it takes me 10 years. I'm going to get admitted to this university if I apply, or the UW, or, whatever other school I choose to go to. And it's not from a place of overconfidence. It's from a place of, yes, we have that ability, and we have that strength and that power, each and one of us, that greatness within us that will allow us to manifest and materialize such a reality. And that's with anything that we choose to do. And I am so in tune with that, where I'm like, hey, it doesn't matter, because I'll either work or strategically find a way to get myself admitted into that university. And if I don't get, whether it's like scoring or testing or whatever the heck it is, then I'll do it until I get to the point where I'm at qualification level to enter the university. And so I'm sitting here thinking this, and I'm like talking, to the reps and stuff, and they're just probably looking at me like, this guy, like he has to do all this stuff first. But in my mind, I'm like, there's not that much to do. I got to take an exam, and then after I take that exam, my GPAs from college are pretty solid. Put those two together, and boom, with a nice personal statement, we're good to go. So it was really interesting. But it kind of felt like also, because I'm self-employed, right? So I make my own schedule. I'm efficient. I'm efficient all day. And so it was just interesting, because you kind of give away some of that power when you make the decision. Pause. No. I like that better. So it was interesting. While I was there, I felt like, hey, you're giving away some of your power and some of your control, because they say this is how you're supposed to feel, right? I don't feel that necessarily in my line of work, because there's nobody who can tell me, like they say the market is slow, for example, right? During the wintertime in real estate. I personally don't believe that reality. Now, do I see certain marketing and do I see certain strategies not performing as strongly as they did during the summertime? Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see the numbers, but is my business suffering or are my clients suffering? No, I can say that honestly. And that all comes to planning and development also, and mindset and coaching. So my point is like, while like if I look at the season and say, oh man, it's bad during the winter. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. Look, like I don't even I don't take any part of that. But in school, it's like they say, oh hey, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be challenging, and you have to be in that environment all day long, you know. And so at that moment when I was on the campus and I was walking around listening, it was just kind of like like it just was kind of a downer, because I was just like, well, that's not me, because in my day to day, I get to control what comes in front of me and what I want to work with and who I want to work with and what I don't want to work with. And so that was really interesting to kind of go back on campus and like feel that shift and change. But I think overall, it's a powerful move, and mentally, it's a super expensive too. But pause. Nope. Throw that away. Throw that away. Throw that away. It there's no amount of money. There's no amount of money that can There's no amount of money that can pay for the amount of mental growth. And I was talking to my buddy about this yesterday, because my other friend Daoud, who's an amazing person, he said, and I think I may have talked about it, but it's so relevant. If you think about going back to school as something that costs a lot of money or something that's super, super challenging and difficult, stop yourself and really, really think about what it's going to do for you. Now, a lot of people, so cliche to say, school didn't help me with anything. Well, to each his own, you can keep that perspective. But for me personally, it taught me how to learn. It taught me how to learn. It taught me how to adapt. It taught me how to think from different angles, logically and illogically at times. It taught me how to study. It taught me how to write essays and qualitative and quantitative papers, and identify and read things at a higher level. It increased my level of vocabulary. It taught me how to build relationships with people that may have personality conflict. So like school was awesome. And yes, I can't say necessarily that I'm writing papers and I'm using these philosophies necessarily that I learned in school, right? But the way that my mind works, which is something that we cannot ever put a price on, pause, something that I can never put a price on, or that I would choose never to put a price on, because I believe it's everyone's mind is worth, there is, an infinite amount, right? The way that my brain evolved and my belief of who I am evolved increased my whole life. So imagine you go from one step to the next, and that could be experiential too. I mean, you could be working at a job for, let's say, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and you can get experiential, education, and that can take you to a place of, like wavelengths away, where your mind's unlocked. You're constantly bombarded with messages, or you have really strong mentors who are kind of guiding you along the way on this path of, achieving your goal and becoming a better person. But for me, like for education, it's like I had to redefine the way I was looking at it. Because if I look at it from the standpoint of lack, which is, oh, it's expensive, oh, it's hard, well then, if it ever gets to the point where it becomes so challenging and I feel like I want to give up, which there do come times, I'm not going to give up, but that urge to give up may be increased significantly. But the power behind getting a JD and going to school and getting a master's degree in business, let's say, right? That's 3 years of education. That's 3 years of expansion. And so when you get to that point where you are like, okay, I just learned all of this, and I've been immersed in this for 3 or 4 years, and I paid $150,000 for it, right? Education. I paid $150,000, but I have just made room to make $1 million. I have just made room to dig and build my relationships deeper. I have just made room to be even better at my art and my skill that I pay my attention to. I have just made room to be a better asset and provider to life, in life, to help more people, expand my reach, network and build communities even further, like everything just increases and magnifies. So it's about that scale, you know what I mean? And that was a big, like, pairing that together, that thing I learned 3 months ago, maybe nearly 3.5 months ago, and then going through what I went through yesterday in terms of the experience, it was pretty enlightening. So with that, if you're thinking about going back to school, go back to school. No, but I love you guys, and thank you for joining me for day 75, the journey to greatness. Please feel free to drop by the Facebook page and throw up a like. That's awesome. And if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, or if there's anything that's pressing on your mind, always feel free to direct message me. I don't mind addressing it in the video and leaving you anonymous. That's fine. And we got to get ready for another event, because we're at 60. We did 60 days. We surpassed 60 days a long time ago, right? So another 15 days, we got to get ready for another event. And I want to do something pretty cool. It shouldn't be New Year yet, but it should be right around the Christmas time. Maybe we can do a volunteer activity where we can go down to Seattle and maybe give food away to, to people at, maybe the homeless shelter, or go help out at the homeless shelter. Or maybe, maybe we can end the year with something of giving. We'll do it all year, obviously, but maybe we could do that, or we could do another building exercise, community building exercise. That vision board thing was actually really successful. We are allowed for people to come together and connect on so many different levels. And now it's it feels like we're more interconnected than ever. It's before, I was for some of my friends that came to that event, I was trying to connect with them outside of the journey to greatness just every day. I was trying to connect with them and I didn't. But because I was more aware of, hey, I want to connect more. I want to be more involved. And boom, it blossomed a lot of other relationships and rooted a lot of relationships. And that's been amazing. So my point is I'd love to see more of that, and see all these people, more people come together and grow together and know each other. So I love you guys. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 5 a.m. A Journey to Greatness. Thanks for joining me today. See ya.